Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Jacob talks to us all about his Bachelor in Paradise split with Jill.
I realized that Jill is an extremely emotional being, which I love. That's amazing. But I didn't want her to react anything like that.
Plus, Kaitlyn Bristowe reflects on her recent conversation with Rachel Recchia.
I liked getting to hear her side, and I love that she's self-deprecating and that she can say things like, yeah, I was an idiot and I should have done things different.
And Dean and Kaitlyn are engaged. Tino breaks his silence on the Rachel drama, and Cassie reveals she is happy for Colton. We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly executive producer Mandy DeCamp. Hi Mandy, nice to see you on Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes, bright-eyed and 4 hours of my life gone, but I'm here.
You will never get it back.
No, you don't get that time back, that 4 hours a week, but we're doing it for you guys.
We are, and I hope you all appreciate it and enjoy. And I know you guys had a lot to say about last week's show. Kicking off with Joanne says, I just love Claire. She deserved this happy ending. Tyler is adorable and hope he's still with Brittany. Of course, talking about Claire Crawley, who got engaged last week. And, I think everybody's really happy for her that she's hopefully found her happy ending.
Yes, I agree. I'm happy for Claire. I think this one's going to work out. I have a good feeling about it for her.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
Denise Richard, is it the Denise Richard? I don't know. She commented, I want the producers of the franchise to make Casey the next Bachelor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Well, Zach's our next Bachelor, so maybe afterwards. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
All right, let's get into our news of the week. And finally, Bachelor in Paradise couple Kayla Miller-Keys and Dean Unglert are engaged after more than 3 years together. Now, he hinted on his Help I Suck at Dating podcast that the proposal would have taken place by the time the podcast aired. He said, I wasn't planning on sharing that little piece of information today, but you guys got it out of me. And get this, he lost the 4.5 carat emerald cut diamond ring that he initially planned to propose with. He used a placeholder ring and said, I just have no idea where it is. I imagine it's in the house somewhere. I would be a little bit more concerned about where that ring was.
Yeah, or if it ever existed.
Right, that's true. Good point.
No, I'm sure it did, but it seems a little
suspect, but yes, they've been together since 2019 when they met on Bachelor in Paradise. He always said for years and years that he didn't really believe in marriage. They had already worn these promise rings to each other. He even said that she should propose to him. So it seems like he changed his mind, and I'm sure she's really happy about it.
Yeah, she's getting her happy ending finally. I'm happy for them. I hope they have a really hipster type wedding with their van in the background. And dogs, and I just can picture it already.
Totally. Happy for them. Congrats.
Yes. So Bachelor alum Cassie Randolph wished ex-Colton Underwood nothing but the best, even if their split led to dark times. When asked by Ben Higgins and Ashley I about how she felt about Colton coming out as gay, she said, I'm very happy that he is at peace with himself and not carrying that burden anymore, of course. It was a very just overall hard time for me, so I feel like there was just one thing after another, and I was just extremely overwhelmed with everything going on. Randolph and the former NFL player met during season 23 of The Bachelor, which aired in 2019, and they ultimately called it quits for good in May 2020. 2 months later, if you remember, Randolph filed a restraining order against her ex, claiming he had put a tracking device in her car and showed up at her apartment and her parents' house uninvited. The order was granted, forcing him to stay at least 100 yards away from her and not to contact her until the matter was privately settled in November 2020. Yikes. What do I'm surprised she talked about it, to be honest.
I'm surprised she talked about it too. I think she said it was kind of like a lose-lose situation if she opens up about it, or something or she felt like she was kind of set up for it.
Yeah.
We have no idea what happened behind closed doors. Obviously, this was a really scary time for her and a really dark time. She had to file a restraining order against Colton. He did some pretty messed up things during that time. Yes, he was struggling with his inner demons and things like that, but that is no excuse for how he treated her.
I do feel like a lot of people, especially in the past couple seasons, are more vocal about how the show has affected them mentally, and really need to get some professional help after the show.
Yeah, no, and that kind of brings us into our next story about Tino, who finally opened up about everything that happened with Rachel. He even said that he sees the psychiatrist from the Bachelor franchise twice a week because this really affected his mental health. And like you said, so many people are talking out about it. And he admitted that he felt guilt from the kiss. Of course, he cheated on Rachel during their engagement. He said that he really started to take, that his guilt really started to take over after Rachel was being so amazing and making an effort in the relationship. He confessed that he initially told her that he just led a girl on, and Rachel told him that she needed more time to process. And then, of course, they had their tense meetup. He lost a lot of sleep over it. He denied any speculation that he was on drugs during that time because he was acting kind of erratically and a little crazy. And he addressed that notebook that he brought. He said, I wanted to be as articulate as I could and not be stumbling over my words, which I did anyways, which was really uncomfortable. And then, of course, that brings us to after the final rose, where he said that production was just mean for how they treated him. And I think a lot of people agreed with it. He said the whole day before I locked myself in the bathroom of the trailer that they put me up in so I wouldn't have to do B-roll or anything like that. I was like, I'm not doing it. I was crying in the bathroom because it was overwhelming being there. And that was pretty taxing. When, of course, producers brought Avon out to have that moment with Rachel on stage, he said that he could barely remember what he was thinking. He said that he even spoke afterwards and that he's a class act. He says he still thinks about Rachel every single day, but knows that they are not compatible and she needs somebody, and there is somebody out there who is more compatible for her. A lot of revelations in this conversation with Nick Viall. I think a lot of people felt bad for Tino after what happened to him on After the Final Rose, because like you said, this completely messed with his psyche for, and still does. And the way that they treated him was just not fair. Despite what he did to Rachel, it wasn't a good look.
Yeah, I feel like with someone like Tino, he didn't quite deserve the hate that he got from Bachelor Nation. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, he cheated on her. Yes, he kissed another girl. It was not right. Did he deserve to be canceled? Did he deserve to be booed? I think, I don't think that he was. And I do feel for him. Do I think he maybe should be the next Bachelor? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, it would be controversial.
It would
be interesting. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people, I think we have to let the dust settle for a little while, maybe a paradise stint before, but yes. I don't know if this will be the end of Tino. I mean, maybe for him, I don't know if he'd want to come back.
That's but very true.
For producers, I think that they would probably give him another shot. But it's just a lot of, when we were talking, and we could talk about this more when we talk about Paradise, it just seems like a lot of producer manipulation lately. And it just seems like they're trying to force this drama and force this like at the expense of these people. And that's not really what we signed up to watch.
No. And you say lately, but to be honest, I think this has been going on since season 1 of the show. I think people are just more vocal about it now, which I'm glad that they are. I think because of social media and having that platform, they're able to stand on their own 2 feet and say, hey, this happened and it's not right. And don't cancel me, cancel them.
Right. No, it's so true.
Yeah.
So
or don't
true.
cancel anyone. But yeah, there needs to be some kind of resolution behind the scenes of that show, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So after Michael A. broke up with Sierra Jackson on Bachelor in Paradise, faithful viewers questioned his motives as the twosome seemingly had a strong connection. He captioned a TikTok video, choosing to end my only relationship when I was gifted a constellation and didn't have a rose was not a good look, but I knew that. He continued, I still should have handled the breakup better. That's on me. Michael's candid comments accompanied a TikToker's theory about why he chose to end his relationship with the 27-year-old season 26 alum before the episode's rose ceremony. After Sierra gifted Michael a trio of stars named for him, late wife Laura and son James, he ultimately called it quits on their romance and hoped to remain platonic friends. What do you think about the whole Sierra Michael A situation?
I mean, I do feel bad for her, and it seems like she's still pretty burned. Like if you look at her Twitter and her social media, she's still not very happy about this situation. I just think that like maybe she came on a little too strong and he was a little kind of scared about it, and he wasn't feeling her as much as she was feeling him. He should have probably been a little bit more honest and upfront and not said, I don't want to get into a relationship. I don't think I could date right now, instead of I just don't want to date you right now.
Yeah. I think a few things. I think for one, I think everyone in this season's rushing in too fast.
Yes.
Like, why are you talking about marriage on day 2? And secondly, I feel like the Michael Danielle thing was set up
Yes, of course.
So hard. And I think Michael knew it was coming. And I'm like, why aren't you two just dating in real life? Like, why do we have to see you on the beach? No offense, but like, you're not adding much. And
so true. Yeah, we knew that this was a setup. It's
I feel like Sarah was like a placeholder until Danielle showed up, and I don't think that's right.
No, definitely
I
not.
liked Michael A, but I don't know. Just go home and date Danielle.
Seriously, we don't need to see it on the beach. Just taking up some of these 4 hours is all
4 hours of my
one
life.
night, 2 hours. That's all we need.
We need new editors too. Speaking of Bachelor Cat.
Oh my God, my life is just wasting away. All right, let's move on to Bachelor Nation, our Bachelor Nation talk. And we recently caught up with Kaitlyn Bristowe, who reflected on her recent conversation with Rachel Recchia. Take a look.
You obviously interviewed Rachel last week. I listened to it. I loved it. What was your biggest takeaway from your time with Rachel?
Oh, she's just a doll. You know, I think sometimes we can watch as viewers of shows with so much judgment and only see one side of what the television show wants us to see. But it's always so nice. It's one of my favorite things about podcasting is getting another side of the story and having these women or men have their own voice to share their experience on my podcast. So I liked getting to hear her side. And, you know, I love that she's self-deprecating and that she can say things like, yeah, I was an idiot and I should have done things different. I think that is, so mature of her to be able to look back, because I remember coming off my show and I was like, no regrets. But for her to be like, yeah, I could have done things differently. The humility is, I don't know. I loved speaking with her.
Did you guys hear back from Greg after she dropped the
Oh, I should ask. I've been talking to her. I need to ask her if she heard back from him, because she was like, Kaitlyn, you made me feel so creepy. And I was like, I was the creep, not you.
It was so good.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I could ship them, but also the Avon. I like that you were trying to push the Avon. Like, we got to see what's going on there.
I ship Raven so hard.
Me too.
Yeah, it seems like she was, impressed by her. They had that really fun little moment where she commented on Greg's Instagram, but it doesn't seem like he wrote back.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, we also caught up with Jacob, who's the star of the show out on the beach this season. He opened up about his paradise split with Jill, which was so sad. Take a look.
Okay, Jill was quite emotional at the other hotel. What were you expecting her to be doing over there? Did you think she was going to come back, quite as emotional as she was? Did you think she was going to explore connections? What were you thinking?
After seeing that, I realized that Jill is an extremely emotional being, which I love. That's amazing. But I didn't want her to react anything like that. I felt like, because we had only known each other for a few days prior to this. We went on our date after talking for just 2 days. So we're still fresh in each other's minds. We're still a very fresh couple. We didn't have a conversation between each other before Jesse kicked all the girls off the beach. So if we had a conversation where I could have told her, hey, look, I think that, we should talk about if we do have an option with somebody else and we click, then go for it. And I would have mentioned that to her, but we didn't have that chance to speak. They wouldn't let us have our time. It would have probably gone a little bit better for both of us in terms of me being, it didn't look like I was cautious, but being a little bit less cautious. Also, I let every girl know that I was talking to, that I was also talking with Jill. So that may have made things a little bit more difficult for some people to understand that I could be a relationship with them, because they didn't know if I had something stronger with Jill. So that's kind of how it went.
Was there any part of you that wishes you kind of gave it a little bit more time when she came back, instead of kind of breaking it off right then and having her leave, which you obviously didn't know she was going to do that, but.
Yeah, that's another great question. I truly do wish I had probably seen, because obviously at that point, Kate and I were no longer, and I was perfectly fine with that. Yeah, I wish I had, tried to pursue us as just a couple. Getting engaged at the end, probably not, but us as an actual relationship where we could be, just talking and having fun with each other like we were before. I kind of do wish that I'd at least continued things. What I did there was I said, okay, look, I don't want to lead you on anymore. I want you to see if you can find your soulmate here. I didn't want her to leave right away.
Right.
I didn't think she would leave right away. But after what happened with her and Romeo, and then having a relationship with her and I, Jill just said, you know what, enough is enough. I got to go. I still wish I just said, let's just see what you and I have.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe things would have gone better.
Her emotions continued a little bit in the van, and she did make a comment. He sold his couch for cash, and I cried over him. What was your reaction to that? I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Wait. Can you? I don't remember that whatsoever. Wait, what did
she said he sold his couch for cash, and I cried over him, the Lyft driver.
Oh my God.
She was clearly just emotional, but I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
You laughed at that.
She's an emotional being, and to be honest, Jill and I still have a great relationship to this day. We still talk a lot. That's just who she is. She loves bringing up like, oh, like, you know, next week you're so done and stuff like that, just joking around. But that's why, you know, Jill is an amazing person. You know, she really is a sweet individual. I just wish, you know, again, I wish she wasn't as emotional over me in that particular case, just because I am a fun, goofy person and just like to have some fun.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I am there for a proposal. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But again, it is sad to see her leave like that.
So sad, but such like a, you know, the way that Jill, you know, was in the back of the van, you know, talking about how he sold his couch for cash. I love it.
It was good. That was good.
That was good. All right, well, let's get into our Bachelor recap and try to break this all down. You know, we kicked off the week with Lace going home. Poor Lace. She's just very unlucky in love.
Yeah, Lace has got to stop going to the beach, I think. Yeah.
I think her time is done at the beach.
Yep.
But
She's
like you said before,
Ashley
these people
but if Ashley I was still going back to the beach if she hadn't met Jared.
But you're so right. Like, these people are forming these connections and they've only known these people for like 12 hours. It's like, no, you're not going to get married in 12 hours.
I know. I can't decide if I'm just more skeptical and older now. And they always did this in Paradise, but I feel like it wasn't like this. I don't know.
No. I feel like it wasn't like this either. Like, it just seems like they're all in and just getting very, very emotional about, but the whole name of the game is to explore these relationships and go out on different dates. And these people are getting mad when they go out on different dates with other people, even though they only spent like 3 hours with this person. It's very strange. But at least, like, you know, somebody that was kind of doing Paradise the way it should be, it was Logan, even though it was Geometry Beach. I mean, he was into Kate, he was into Sarah, he was into Shanae, but that's kind of how it's supposed to work.
Totally. Yeah. Logan's, I'm liking Logan this season.
He's a hot commodity. And then I don't think we ever thought that Genevieve and Shanae would be friends.
No. That was funny. I mean, they were clearly wasted, too many shots, but it made for some good TV. I liked it.
It made for some good TV. Yeah. It definitely did. And then Victoria, where do you stand in this whole Victoria, Alex, and Johnny situation?
It's a tough one. My theory, and I hate to keep blaming the producers because we are producers ourselves, but I think that the whole Alex thing is kind of fake. Until we see next week. So I'm still a little bit like, I don't know, maybe she really did like Alex. I felt like Alex was just thrown in there and they were kind of like, just go on a date, just try it, you know? And like, then she starts doing all these interviews saying like, he checks off all the lists. He checks off all my boxes. I think ultimately she's going to give her rose to Johnny.
As you said.
I think she really likes Johnny. I do think Johnny is having difficulty with it, though, accepting that she went on a date with another guy. And I don't know if he's going to get past it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I think you're right. I think that she does give her rose to Johnny, and you know they'll probably see through the rest of the season. But I'm sure you know avid Bachelor people have been looking on social media and have seen Victoria in Rome recently with Greg Griffin. So it doesn't seem like she lasted with Johnny or Alex. So very strange.
I mean, I hope that he checks all her boxes.
I hope so. Hope so. And then do you think that Kate actually likes Logan, or do you think that she just wanted to do this to get a leg up on Shanae?
You know, at the end of the 2 hour or 4 hours every week, I feel like I know exactly what's going on until they show the preview for next season. So after I see the preview not next season, but the next week, So I thought she was, and then I see her on a date with someone else next week. So I'm like, I don't know about this girl. I think she's playing the field a little bit.
I think so too. I think she wanted some extra screen time. And like we said before, Jill and Jacob, their breakup, I thought she handled it, as best as she could.
Jill would, yeah.
Jacob doesn't seem to be in there for monogamy, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Jacob's in there for an engagement. I think Jacob's in there for airtime, screen time, FaceTime, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because last season we saw so many strong couples, like a lot of couples left the beach. I think it was like 6 and like they're all still together. I feel like this season it's just Brandon and Serene. Like that's pretty much
and they are
it.
strong. They
are strong. Couple. Like they're going to get married and have beautiful babies.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I feel like there's not. Besides them, I don't know who's. Well, maybe Michael A. and Danielle.
Yes,
maybe.
Maybe. All right. We'll have to wait and see. We still have like 4 more weeks of this.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our social media spotlight. Mine went to Jill for reflecting on her time in paradise. She said she learned so much about herself as a partner, a friend, a human being. She's found the most supportive friends. She said that the future is bright for her. And, she learned to overcome some difficult and navigate some difficult situations and have a greater sense of self. So at least she was able to reflect on the experience and look at the positives. And she got some support from Bachelor Nation with Rachel saying that she loves her so much. Danielle saying that she's truly a treasure of a human. So everybody's still rooting for Jill.
Yeah, I know she went out kind of crying in the cab or whatever, but I feel like it was a good idea for her to go out.
Yes.
I feel like she went on her terms.
Right. She knew when to bow out.
Yeah. My social media spotlight goes to Wells Adams. He took over Bachelor in Paradise's Instagram this week and answered a lot of fan questions. One was about whether or not he actually bartends. So take a look.
So I get this one a lot. A lot of people don't think I actually bartend down there, but I totally do. My shifts are generally between like 6 and 8 hours, depending. Like a rose ceremony goes real late. Am I a good bartender?
So he totally does bartend, it sounds like. He says he's not that great of a bartender, but he said during rose ceremonies, sometimes it's 6 to 8 hours he's bartending. So that's a long shift.
That's a long shift. It really is.
Well, work for his money.
Seriously. Well, he makes it look good and easy. So
yeah.
I'm sure they don't care what the drinks taste like as long as there's alcohol in it.
Yeah. After 2 or 3, they all taste the same.
Exactly. Well, Mandy, thank you so much for stepping in on Bachelor in Paradise this week.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, keep commenting and keep subscribing, and we will see you guys next week for more Bachelor in Paradise recap on Here for the Right Reasons. Bye. For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.